Hi, my name is Nicole and this is a 10-minute beginner yoga routine. So it's perfect if you are completely new to yoga and you want to try it out and get started with it, to do every day or every other day, to just begin and feel your way into the yoga practice. So let's get started. We begin in an easy cross-legged seat, so just bringing one foot in front of the other and grounding the sit bones down into the mat, finding length in the spine and resting the hands onto the knees. And then close your eyes or lower your gaze and take a full inhale in and a full exhale out. And keeping the eyes closed or gaze lowered, bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder, finding a stretch in the left side of your neck. And then dropping the chin to your chest and rolling the head all the way over to the left. And then dropping the head back and over to the right again. So finding some neck circles here, moving into the same direction and moving nice and slow, feeling into the neck. And the next time that the left ear is over the left shoulder, stay there for a moment, feeling the stretch in the right side. And then drop the chin to the chest and roll over to the right and then back. So now we're reversing the circles, moving into the opposite direction. Maybe you can feel some cracks in the neck. And then come back to center and blink the eyes open if you had them closed, interlacing the fingers and drawing the palms away from you. Inhale, reaching the arms up, arch your spine, and exhale to round and bring the arms long in front. Inhale to reach up high, arch your spine, and exhale, send the hips back and round. Again, inhale to reach up, and exhale, rounding the spine and releasing the interlace of the fingers and bringing the palms down, right underneath the shoulders, so hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, setting up for our tabletop. And with the next inhale, drop your belly and lift your gaze, arching the spine for cow pose. Exhale to round, bring the chin to your chest and press the palms into the mat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift your gaze, cow pose. Exhale to round, finding your cat, navel in. Again, inhale, drop your belly and arch your spine, and then stay there and walk the palms towards the front of the mat and bring the forehead down, chest closer down towards the mat, and keep the hips above the knees or slightly shifted forward, but try to not have the hips back at the heels. So you can just take a quick look at the video if you're confused to see that we don't want to have the hips back here. We want to try and keep them a bit further forward so that we can bring the chest a little closer towards the mat. And then start to press back into the palms and walk them back towards you to set up for our first downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under and start to lift the hips off the mat, finding some movement here, so bending into the knees, pedaling the feet and moving the hips from side to side to just feel into this down dog, feeling into the backs of the legs. And then coming to stillness and bringing the feet hip distance apart into the mat. The palms are shoulder distance apart with the fingers spreading wide apart, and you can keep a slight bend in the knees to keep the spine long and straight. And from here, bringing the gaze between the hands and starting to walk the feet all the way to the front of the mat, bending into the knees and then just letting the head hang heavy and grabbing opposite elbows to gently rock from side to side, feeling into the backs of the legs, and then letting go of the elbows, rounding into the spine and starting to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae, lifting the whole body up, rolling the shoulders up and back when you arrive at the top. And then bringing the arms to the sides and inhale, reaching up high, palms to touch above the head. Exhale, fold over the legs, bring the head down. You can keep a bend in your knees here. Inhale, slide the hands up towards the thighs, finding length in your spine and length in the legs. So straight legs now, long spine, long neck. And then fold forward again, bend into your knees. Plant the palms and step the right foot back and then the left, coming to a high plank. And we want to make sure in our high plank that the hips are in line with the shoulders, so they're not sinking down or lifting up, bringing them in one line and rounding out of the shoulder blades. So not collapsing into the shoulders, trying to round, finding that protraction of the shoulders. The palms are directly underneath the shoulders and we're high on our toes. And from here, lower the knees into the mat and bring the chest down. Untuck the toes, bring the legs closely together, hands underneath the shoulders, and inhale, lift the chest up and try to not press into the palms here. So maybe you can even hover the palms off the mat, finding all the strength from the spine here, from the back side of the body, and lifting up, keeping the feet in the mat. One more inhale. And exhale, lowering down, pressing into the palms, and just moving the hips to one side, extending both legs long in front. Remove any fleshy bits from underneath the sit bones, setting up for a forward fold. And we bring a bend into the knees now, so we can melt the stomach onto the thighs, grabbing the big toes with the peace fingers, so we find length in the spine. And from here we walk the feet away from us to find a bit more length through the legs. And then you can bring the forehead towards the shins and breathe into the backs of the legs here. And oftentimes we think we have to keep the legs fully straight, but it's much better, especially for the lower spine, to keep the knees bent and to find that stomach to thigh connection. And then slowly release and lift back up, extending the arms long in front, and now rounding fully into the spine and starting to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Pausing for a moment, taking an inhale in and exhale, lowering all the way down, bending into the knees and setting up for a bridge pose. So touch your heels with your fingertips, making sure the feet are hip distance apart. Press into the heels and start to lift the hips off the mat. And now you can start to shimmy the shoulders closer together, maybe even interlacing the hands underneath the body, or just keeping the palms down and lifting up from the hip bones. So not sticking out the ribs here, keep the ribs tugging in, but lifting the hip bones up, pubic bone up. Tailbone lengthens down and finding an engagement in the glutes here. Staying lifted for 2 more full breaths. Inhaling in, exhaling out. Last inhale. And exhale, start to lower the hips all the way back down into the mat. Hug your knees into the chest, grab around the thighs and start to rock forwards and backwards along the length of the spine until you come all the way up, extending the right leg long and bringing the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. So just placing that foot down and the left hand comes behind you into the mat. Inhale, reaching the right arm up and wrapping the arm around the left thigh or bringing the upper arm to the outside of the left thigh. But try not to collapse into the back hand here, so staying nice and lifted with the chest and finding your option with the right arm. Inhale for length in the spine. Exhale to twist a little deeper. And then find your counter twist over to the right, so just bringing both hands to your right side, and then back through center, switching sides, so bringing the right foot to the outside of the left thigh, right fingertips behind you into the mat, and inhale, reaching the left arm up, and exhale, either wrapping the arm around the right thigh or bringing the upper arm to the outside of the leg, and then finding length in the spine. With every exhale, trying to twist a little bit deeper. And inhale, coming over to the left, finding your counter twist. And then back to center, crossing the ankles. And we're done with our 10-minute routine. Thank you so much for joining, and let me know if you have any questions. You can just put them into the comments, or you can also write me on Instagram. I would love to hear from you, and I hope I'll see you soon again. Bye bye.